Okay, this is a serious question for the guys. I have this conversation with my female friends, I think, like, I'm not even kidding, once a week. So I'm just curious what the real reasoning is behind it. But most of my girlfriends say that whenever they're out, they never get approached by guys, ever. And maybe like one girl in the friend group who does get approached, it's not like she's a total standout from the group. But for some reason, like a specific girl might just like get hit on a lot, I don't know. But not even in a biased way. I think that some of my friends are very, very beautiful. Like, actually, I'm not just saying that to be nice. So it makes me really curious as to why guys don't go up to them. Is it like, one, even if you see an attractive girl, like you're just hanging out with your friends, you don't really care? Two, you're just simply not attracted to her? Three, maybe you like think she's just like in a relationship, or like she's just super standoffish and like bitchy looking, or like in general you just like don't want to deal with any type of rejection. Like, is it the guy's point of view, or is it just like the girls are putting out this weird vibe, or like just guys don't find them attractive? I don't know. But most of my friends like want to meet guys in person, but then they go out and just like nothing really happens. So what is it?
I've been going on dates for the past 2 weeks. When I say I'm not satisfied, this what the fuck I got to choose. When you take me on a date, you open up my fucking door. You open up the door, you pull out the chair if it's a chair, and you cut my fucking steak if it's a steak. I'm always gonna order a steak to see if you got some fucking home training, hoe. If you take a female on a date, she order a steak, you cut it. The fuck? They pre-cut it, then you cut it. Be a gentleman. Be the gentleman. You trying to gently touch on this ass? Do the work. Do the work. We going on multiple dates. You want some ass from me? We going on multiple dates. We putting in effort. Bitch, we doing what we gotta do to get some ass. Fuck home.
I don't get dating nowadays. This is the largest group of butthurt, bitter pen pals I've ever seen in my entire life. It's absurd. Like, you'll establish mutual interest with somebody, exchange numbers, and then you want to good morning me beautiful until my head is ready to explode. Like, I don't know about y'all, but my attention span is not something to play with. You've got 2 or 3 weeks of chit-chatting with me and FaceTiming before I expect you in person. All right? This isn't fucking summer camp. Let's keep in touch. No. I want to feel the weight of a man's bone. Can't say it, it's TikTok. But you guys, you get what I'm saying. Like, we need to establish real life chemistry. I'm not going to keep talking to you, talking about I miss you. I don't know how. We've never met. More, if you miss me, why aren't you in front of me? Like, what's the issue here? Why aren't you making a move? Lock it in, buddy. Are you short? Do you smell? Are you poor? You can't afford a date? We can go to a fucking park. Like, are you married? What is the issue? Because now you acting sus. And I lose interest on suspect people. Like, what? Lock it in!
Okay, I have a question for men. Why don't you guys approach us in public? It's so frustrating. Like, I just went to Lowe's and I was walking around grabbing some supplies for my move, and I made eye contact with like 3 different guys. I was smiling, I was just like doing my thing, and nobody came up to me. They almost seemed like annoyed that I was looking at them. It's just such a weird world we're in. I guess everyone uses online dating apps, but if you guys would just like approach a girl, I'm telling you 99% of women would love it. Like,
men should approach women and it will go well 99% of the time?
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
I'm not sure what planet this woman lives on, but it can't be planet Earth. Take a look at some of the comments you find on TikTok from women when it comes to being approached. Men shouldn't approach women, LMFAO, leave us alone. Men just shouldn't have an opinion at this point. They lost that privilege. This is why men don't approach women. Yay, that's the goal. Ladies, these kinds of bitter and hateful women have ruined it for the rest of you, I'm afraid. Women had a chance to join hands with men and put a stop to the rise of feminism, but they did nothing. And now, single and lonely women are realizing very quickly that men aren't approaching or pursuing them in the way they used to anymore. Feminism has completely ruined approaching. The Me Too movement has made it impossible for a man to approach a woman with confidence that he won't be branded a misogynistic pig with dark, sinister intentions. Before we go any further into the video, let me pick the comment of the day. Shout out to Natero, who said, honestly, I would prefer having a lot of money instead of a woman because let's be honest, money solves way more problems than a woman does. Simple, full of truth, and almost poetic. I love this comment. So man, please don't forget to reach out to my email to claim your $5. As always guys, I'm going to pick one comment from each video. It could be the funniest, the most liked, or just one that I really liked. So don't forget to leave a comment and you could be tomorrow's winner. So be sure to hit that like and subscribe button too, as it helps out the channel. Now back to the video.
Embrace your masculinity.
Honestly, ladies, after the past 20 years, how can you possibly expect men to want to approach a woman? You would have to be completely tone deaf with your fingers in your ears and living under a rock for the past 20 years to believe that men should be the ones approaching women. The juice is not worth the squeeze anymore. The game has changed and men have adapted en masse. I've spoken recently in my videos about the adaptability of men. Men will overcome pretty much any obstacle by adapting to it. It might take a little time, but adaptation is inevitable. This is how men have allowed society to reach the point we're at today. Women told men not to approach them, so men stopped approaching them. And now women are angry because men stopped approaching them. This is called woman logic. And no, it won't make sense. What I find the most amusing about all of this is the complete lack of accountability society holds women to. Women are supposed to be strong and independent. But there's been a massive push for equality over the past 20 years. But reliably and predictably in every single situation, men end up being blamed for anything wrong. Society doesn't ask, what's causing men to stop approaching women? How did we create this? Instead, this toxic feminist society immediately points the finger at men and attacks them for not approaching women, even though they were told not to approach women anymore in the first place. This whole situation is a complete circus. If society was genuinely interested in the reasons why men have adapted and are no longer approaching women anymore, the reasons would be obvious and inevitable. The risks far outweigh the potential rewards. Something most women simply do not fully appreciate is how brutal it is to be rejected so consistently and so intensely in public. This is something the majority of women will never appreciate because the majority of women have never approached a man. They are angry at men for not approaching them when they have no idea how difficult it is. The rejection rate is so brutally high. Even with the best pickup artists in the world, the rate of a positive response is usually 1 out of every 10 interactions. And what about the rest of those interactions? If you're not a solid 9 or 10, she's going to treat you like you don't exist. She's going to act like you're a fool for even dreaming of the possibility that she might want to talk to you. She'll have that resting bitch face and the cruel, dismissive laugh that only men who try to approach women know about. You're being treated as though you are a sexual predator before you've even opened your mouth. And her reaction says everything. Women have the opportunity to be friendly and appreciate how much courage it takes for a man to approach a woman. But the vast majority of women choose to be terrible people instead. And this rightfully leads the majority of men to ask what the point of it all is. And when a man asks that, he often comes to the conclusion that there really isn't much of a point. Take a look at this comment from a guy on Reddit and you'll see what I mean. Most of the time, you're not worth the hassle. Most women I talk to aren't even half as interesting as the most boring guys out there. Unless you give me vibes that make me 100% sure that you are interested, then I'm not gonna bother. What makes you think that you're so incredibly interesting and amazing that I just absolutely have to potentially risk my well-being just to talk to you? I already have everything I need to live a fulfilling life. I don't need to talk to you. I don't and will never owe you anything. These are the words of a man who is tired. He's tired of putting himself out there for women who really aren't worth it anymore. They used to be. Women used to be soft, feminine, and cooperative. The women of this society used to respect and appreciate the efforts of men. Just think about how much adoration and admiration women had for men leaving to fight in both world wars. They celebrated men as heroes, and we were inspired to serve them because we were appreciated. It used to be the case that with a great woman by your side, you can achieve pretty much anything. But now it's the case that with a modern woman by your side, you will achieve next to nothing. And what you do achieve, she'll take from you later without losing a moment's sleep over it. So no, we're not going to approach you. For the same reason we won't approach the edge of a cliff on a rainy day. There's no point. Another thing women don't fully appreciate is how unbelievably vicious they can be. We have this misguided and naive idea in this society that women are the perfect creatures who can do no harm. You will find it difficult to come across a more incorrect statement. To show you how mean and cruel women can be, take a look at this story shared by a young man. A girl randomly asked me to prom and I accepted. Turned out it was a prank and she planned to stand me up. We even coordinated colors and everything. My whole grade was in on it. Even some girls I considered friends. Never again with women, I'm safer alone. No, my friend, you aren't safer alone. You're safer with us. Because we know what it's like. But a woman's cruelty isn't the only reason we've stopped approaching women. I'm going to read you another couple of great takes I found online. We've stopped caring about dating ever since the Cultural Revolution started in 2012. We also have had to deal with a tsunami of sexual assault and consent that is just easier to let you make the first move. So make your move and stop thinking the old ways will come back. They won't unless we go to war. This man has a point. It's 2024 and women need to start coming to us. Women got equality. They gave up their privilege as the one who could successfully just wait and the right guy would appear. Now, they've all gone underground because women told them to. If women want an amazing guy to appear, they're gonna have to do what men have had to do for tens of thousands of years and risk public humiliation and rejection. But women don't want to do that.
So I haven't made a connection with a single person in the last 5 months that wasn't assisted by dating apps. And I've decided to quit dating apps, right? So now I have to talk to people again, which is giving me incredible anxiety and I don't want to do it. However, I believe it is the way forward. So I just got to the gym and it's quite late on a Saturday. There's probably going to be no one in there, but I've actually forgotten my headphones. So I feel like the conditions are quite prime for chatting to somebody. I don't want to though. So I'm an idiot. There's like 3 people in there and everyone else has got their headphones in. I spoke to nobody and did 2 exercises and then I just felt a little bit sad.
If you want evidence for how privileged women have been in society for hundreds, if not thousands of years, this is all the evidence you need. Suddenly, women are being challenged to adapt in the same way as men do and start approaching, but they don't. They just go on TikTok and complain about it, blaming men as usual. In the same situations, men would come together and figure out a solution. We know this because it's what men have done. Here's another comment. A great deal of us, I was born in 1999, were brainwashed by a combination of television, political activists, and the internet that approaching women in public is only for the perverted, chauvinistic pigmen. I have felt this way since I was 10 and still do today. Even though I've grown far outside my shell and am confident speaking with people, the noisy, feminist few were not kept in check by their peers and managed to brainwash at least a single generation of men. The good women of the society had the opportunity to say something and keep feminism in check, but unfortunately, they just stayed quiet and drank the Kool-Aid. And now they're suffering for it. It's hard to feel sympathetic when you've been told that you're a chauvinistic, misogynistic pig your whole life just because you were born with a penis. Discrimination is okay when it's against men apparently, which brings me to another well-worded comment. Us men have been constantly told over decades that women feel harassed, creeped out, or objectified when we approach women. So a majority of us just don't approach because it's been constantly pushed that approaching women in almost any situation is not appropriate. The few that it is appropriate to approach brings me to the second thing. The few situations, bars, nightclubs, where it's been deemed appropriate to approach are also filled with a lot of social restrictions. As a man, you have to be attractive and be confident. If 2 or more women are out in a club or bar, the friend or friends that isn't approached attempts to shut down the approach almost instantly, regardless of it if the approached woman is okay with being approached. The old buy me a drink thing is another reason men don't approach as much at a club or bar. We know it's so women can drink for free, so we don't feel like wasting our time only to be a story on TikTok, Reddit, Facebook, etc. about why are men creeps. It happens constantly, which is why men don't approach as much in bars or clubs either. Now, I don't mean to imply that society has made approaching wrong. I mean to state that society has made it so us men believe approaching is wrong. There's a couple of good points here. Another way men have adapted in dating is by becoming aware of what games women play. And a game that is played far too often is the free drink game. It used to be the case where if you wanted to talk to a woman and get to know her, you would offer to buy her a drink. It wasn't about the drink. It was a social gesture that demonstrated interest. But when you give a woman an inch, she'll take a mile. And that's what women did when they started going out with the intention of finding simps to pay for her night by buying her free drinks. She never had the intention of getting to know him. She just saw him as a walking ATM like most modern women see men today. Men caught on to this and said no thank you. We aren't playing your silly little game anymore, and we are more than just a wallet. And let's be honest about something here. These women who are angry at men for not approaching them aren't actually angry because men aren't approaching them. They're angry because the high-value men aren't approaching them. This is why we shouldn't feel guilty as men. Modern women are just throwing a hissy fit because they can't get what they want. Women can be unbelievably vicious and cruel to men they don't find attractive. If you approach a woman and she doesn't find you attractive, that woman will make a scene, especially when there's 10 other women around. The fact is, women are consistently behaving in ways that make it practically impossible to approach in a way that might go well. And another uncomfortable thing the sisterhood doesn't want to talk about is female intergender sexual competition. It's real, and it can be vicious. Even if there was chemistry with the woman we approached, one of their jealous single friends will cockblock the situation and ruin everything. Single women keep other women single. Men will wingman each other, whereas a woman will actively prevent one of her friends getting laid if she's not getting any attention. Most women are in groups, which make it even harder for a man to approach. Another thing I need to mention is porn. I'm not going to talk about whether you should or shouldn't watch it. I have my own opinions about it, but you can make your own mind up. One thing I will say though is that adult entertainment has allowed men to get a degree of their sexual needs met. This means that it's entirely possible for a man to avoid women completely without having to deal with their BS. The most powerful person in any negotiation is the one who has the ability to walk away. And this is the reason why going your own way is the best option you can choose as a man. As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.